Welcome to the next episode of the animjam podcast. So today we wanted to talk about. So actually, I should tell the story like how a few people like asked me or asked us that they want to know more about the origin story, like how we got to doing um, this channel,
Decogged.
this YouTube, yeah, Decogged.
Yeah.
How this,
The prequel to Decogged.
yeah, and they
It's
wanted,
more like a trilogy before
yeah,
before us.
more than that. It's more like seven. It's
Yeah.
like Star Wars.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was they wanted more. They wanted to learn more about our origin story and what got us to do this. And yeah, at first I was a bit hesitant to talk more about us because we don't want to be too like we wanted it to be about animation, but I think a few people like did find it interesting on how we came to this position because maybe they wanted to do their own thing, or you know yeah, they just wanted to know more about us. So yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit more about us today, I guess,
Yeah.
and our
I think
journey.
it's good because
Yeah.
it gives a little bit more perspective on just just because you get in the industry doesn't mean
Hmm.
your work's done. You
Yeah.
know, you can work
Yeah.
in the industry for a while and then you start to think like, oh, okay, like,
Hmm.
is there more I can do? What
Yeah.
else can
Yeah.
can I explore?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and as creatives, there's always like, some people enjoy just, going up like the ladder in the studio, which is really like it's a good career prospect. But there are other people who, after doing production for a while, they've got all they wanted from production. And in terms of creativity, they want to try something else. And I think that's a very common feeling too. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
I guess a lot of people just don't know where to begin
mhm,
with, like, how do I begin if I wanted to try to do my
yeah,
own thing?
yeah,
And then it's not like we're gurus because,
hell
we're
no.
still figuring it out. But
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
by no
you can see
means.
from our mistakes what not to do, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, hopefully, because people tell us about all these mistakes that might happen, and I'm pretty sure we ran through all of them too. Like,
Yeah, we can
yeah,
add to the list even. We'll tell
yeah,
them
yeah,
what else
yeah,
there is.
yeah. But yeah, that's definitely something that we're always. I mean, I feel really good about like our journey here. It was long, but it also felt like it went by really quickly. I guess you should tell the beginning and this origin, like how this
Yeah.
this little seed grew in our minds.
Yeah, well, I think it definitely started when I was at a point in like my career, where I was out of being a junior, been a mid-level for a while, and then I think like a lot of people, you always feel like it's probably a common feeling that like all artists feel like they're underpaid because it's true because we all are underpaid. Like, let's not be kidding here. For the amount of time that we would put in learning our craft, we should get more. So what, like, naturally, I talked to, like, the supervisor that at the time, and I was like, hey, I think I want to get paid more, and that's not an easy conversation ever to have with anyone. So, but it was what I felt like so strongly at the time, and I still feel like thinking back, like I should have got paid more at the time. So, naturally I go and ask, and I put out a number, and then it just got shot down like completely. It was like, I don't know how much details I should go into here, but
Yeah.
maybe I'll
Um,
get into more details, like the nitty gritties later.
yeah.
But like, safe to say, like, I got shot down for the number I put out there, and I still to this day think that was a very reasonable number. Um, and it started like, yeah, that was the seed, and I think you were there at the time when it happened.
It was a party.
Um, yeah, it was at a party. Terrible time to talk about like something like how much to get paid, but I was young at the time, and yeah, I didn't really care, so I just put it out there. I was young
Mhm.
and I was drunk, so it came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. I think
But it got
that's fair.
shut down big time,
Mm.
and that's when it really started. It's like, well, we're like busting our ass, working for a company, that like at the end of the day, it's just a business, right? So they're not gonna truly care about your future and your prospects. I mean, there's people that do, of course, people in the company that do, but at the end of the day, it's still a business, and you're still a part of the business. So what you get paid, what you're doing, your goals have to align with that business in order for it to be a perfect marriage, between what you're doing and what the business is doing. But we didn't like we felt like, okay, we like, well, our goals kind of like, what if we wanted to do these things, what if we want to get paid this much, what if we started having all these questions like, is there more to this industry than just like working at a company, working for someone, and all that sort of stuff. So we started this this thing called shot chasers.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
yeah,
have any of the shot chasers stuff up, but
yeah,
I don't know. Do
I
you
got
have any of the
some.
shot chasers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess before we like move too quickly into the shot chaser stuff, yeah, I was like, I remember specifically like that party, and I think at that time we were already talking about we had little seeds in it, like of thought already, but I think that was the moment that pushed us to be like, okay, we're doing it. Um,
Yeah.
but I think like for me, um, I just got into the industry at that time in TV, like, and I was getting paid, like, I'll be upfront, I was getting paid 44,000 Australian dollars. That is
Yeah.
nothing, you know.
Yeah. To put that in perspective, like if you're a bagger at a grocery store, you probably get paid the same amount.
Yeah,
Like to
yeah,
put everything in perspective.
yeah,
You're getting
yeah,
paid as much as a bagger
yeah,
at like Coles
exactly.
or Woolworths.
And we had to go to school for that, right? Like we had to go to at least
Yeah.
like, and that doesn't really like justify that
Yeah.
kind of sort of salary. I
And
mean, of
school wasn't
course,
cheap back then. Just so like you
yeah,
get like people know, like you can't just like, even nowadays, I think to do an animation course
it's
is
expensive.
like a
Yeah,
full blown animation course is
yeah,
expensive. It's
yeah,
like you come out with debt and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah, and my goal was always to do what I want, but earn as much as my dad did, and my dad does well. Um, I remember he mentioned to me one number after his bonus, and I was like shocked. And then, but as irrational as it is, and he's in like sort of business, like not finance, but he's in, he was a high CEO or CFO. And I was like, oh, my goal back then solely, and even now, I think it's just
That was
ingrained
your
in me.
competitive nature. You're just
Yeah,
like, I need
yeah,
to beat dad.
yeah. And I was
I
like,
gotta beat you, dad.
I just need to beat him like by $1. That's all I want. And you know,
I'm sure that's what he would have wanted for you to like
no, he actually
succeed.
doesn't like
Like,
he just
he wants to beat you.
oh no,
That's
he
where you
just
got it
wants
from.
he just wants me to be like happy, like honestly, like just chill, like happy and just be decent, like you know,
Just
just be a
be,
good
yeah,
person.
just
Um,
have a good
but
life, I guess.
yeah, but it's funny because they told me like just quickly brief story. I know it's about myself, but uh, my mom and my dad told me that when I was born, they went to a fortune teller because it was just like a cultural thing. They don't really believe it. It's more like they did it just to say they did it. And apparently, this fortune teller was like, "Oh, your son is going to be more successful than you," to my dad. And my mom always tells me like, oh, this like, well, when she first told me the story, I was already like 20, and then um, when she told me that, I automatically thought it was in terms of money or in terms of business success. but my mom always said like, it could be like family relationships, any that kind of success as well. Then, but for some reason, I being like the way that I am, I just chose to ignore all that. I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna beat him in
It's got to be
business. Like,
money.
yeah, it's gonna be wealth
Financial
and
success.
financial success, or just that's how I viewed success. Just like you have to win, like you have to just beat him. Like, and that's the only tangible thing I can think of. And
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the only quantifiable
yeah,
measure for success.
yeah, yeah,
The other one's like family. How do you quantify that?
yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's not success.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just how, like, that's the competitive side, I guess. And then that's why I
Yeah,
was like, and that's when that night happened, I think, and just looking at my salary and just looking at how I thought, if you can't even get 70, or how much you were asking for, I forgot.
yeah. It
I
was
was
something
like,
like that, I think.
yeah, I think it was 70,
Yeah,
75. It wasn't even a lot.
yeah.
Like, I was like,
There definitely wasn't a lot, not for a mid level.
yeah, and I was like, how am I gonna get to my dad's number? Like, that's like
Yeah,
impossible. Like, so that's when I
yeah,
really think I was like, I'm fully on board. Like, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Um,
yeah.
uh,
Because when you think about it, there's of course like if monetary like monetary wise, like that wasn't my main goal.
mhm.
I just felt like I wasn't being, treated fairly.
Yeah,
And then that's always like
mhm.
that just instantly makes you feel crap because you're
Yeah,
like, I didn't even come into this, wanting to get paid like
mhm.
a ton of money. I just wanted to get paid the amount of work, the amount of time it took me to get to this point.
Yeah,
Like everybody like struggles when you first start and you try so hard. Everyone's
mhm.
like trying so hard to get so like
Mhm.
good enough to get recognized, to
Mhm.
get hired and to work. So not only do you have to beat out the competition to get a job in one of these good studios, you lose so much time just spending time with your friends and all that, just like putting all the time into your craft. And
Yeah,
then someone's like, "No, you don't get to pay. You don't get to get
mhm.
paid this much. That's
Yeah,
not like, you know,
yeah,
that's not
that's
what you
tough.
deserve."
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's such a tough pill to swallow that,
mhm.
I was like, "Oh, I'm not swallowing it."
Yeah,
There's got to
yeah,
be a better way, and I
yeah,
think our in our heads it's like, well, the best way is just to be your own boss. It's like
yeah,
just do your own thing and
mhm.
try to make it work.
Yeah,
And that's not to say like we quit the next day because
yeah,
that's not
definitely not.
realistic, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But we definitely set along this path to have like this longer term goal of like, you know let's stay in the industry, let's do what we can
mhm.
to get better, but then let's also like let's try to explore other things.
Yeah. And I think the first one we did was actually, it was a short film. Um, we
Oh
tried.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What was that, the procrastination one? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
it
Was it
was.
that one?
Yeah, it was the procrastination one. I'm trying to find it. I'm not sure. Well, anyways, we had a short film that we wanted to do, and this was when Billy still had a job. I was out of a job. I just left Luma, and my contract was up, and no one was hiring me. I was trying to get a job back at Luma or in Vancouver at the time, and I was like 6 months, I think, 6 months of no job, having to pay
Yeah.
rent, and I was like eating like tuna and rice. Um, I mean, I had
And
some decent,
it was Alex as well. I remember like there was
yeah,
another guy
yeah, that was with us.
like called, yeah, that
Yeah,
was with us, Alex, and he was in the same situation as you, I think, where
yeah,
you guys were like, your contracts had finished, and
yeah,
then I think at the time we were like very hopeful. We are like
yeah,
super hopeful that we could make things work in the
mhm,
short amount of time that we had.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I like looking back, that was kind of like pretty hopeful.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it was really bad. It was like I was, oh man, I was. and we were just working on this YouTube channel, to be honest.
Yeah. So
The,
like we were trying to, because YouTube at the time was
yeah,
like it wasn't that saturated in terms of like animated content. I still don't think it is. You know,
yeah,
there's probably not enough like animated content out there on YouTube for everyone.
yeah. Can you see my screen with the shot cases?
Yeah, yeah, I can see
Okay.
it.
So this was our first like YouTube like channel, and Alex animated some great stuff on this.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Like he was doing good, he was doing like high quality animated stuff,
Yeah.
like well animated
Well
stuff
animated, yeah.
within the time that we were doing it.
Yeah.
Of course, like I'm sure like we could all do better if
Yeah.
we had more time to like polish and everything, but
Yeah.
I think we had some crazy schedule. I remember we decided, oh, we got to release like a video. It was like a video a week or something,
Oh my
because
God. Yeah.
yeah, that's what everyone says. You got to release at least a video a week
Yeah.
to get on the algorithm for YouTube.
Yeah.
So
And this is
we
yeah.
set like some. So yeah, we
Like
created these characters that to represent ourselves. So
yeah.
like each one of the characters is like each one of us, and
Yeah.
then we basically like decided, hey, let's combine like hot topic like gaming with
Yeah.
animated content. Let's try to insert our characters
Into
into
games.
like
Yeah.
this, yeah, in this animated universe.
Yeah. And this
Looking
is
back, it's pretty good because
dude,
we
this
did a
is
good job
pretty.
actually
Yeah.
actually inserting it in. The content itself was like it's
Yeah.
pretty garbage, but
Yeah. But in terms of like execution, I think we did pretty well considering, dude, man. Like, okay, so this is when I got really decent at comping. Like, we're like copying, like I made like I basically copied like FF7 the bars and everything, and remade them, and like finding the font and like trying to you know like yeah, it was crazy. That was a yeah, we had to put so many hats. So like Billy, you had to make of course the 3D stuff mostly, like the assets.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. We
I
did
did,
the
yeah,
3Ds. I did the we this is all rendered, not even rendered, I should say. This is all play blasted outside
yeah,
of straight out of Maya.
yeah,
And just to get the look right, I turned off like anti-aliasing or anything
yeah,
nice in the viewport.
yeah,
And then yeah, basically play blasted on alpha and then just
yeah, yeah, and
comped it on
then
top.
yeah, and then for me, I was doing most of the. I guess I should show the Street Fighter one. This is like this is our title sequence. So a lot of the like, yeah, I did a lot of the, I guess, more After Effects side of things and
Yeah.
animating in Maya. Like,
Because
of
you
course,
you had like all that After Effects skill from
yeah,
back
from
when
I
you were
guess
doing
two,
commercials.
yeah, and then but we all like, I guess, well, me and you can like this one. I remember that fucking like this was freaking hard to like redo. This was so hard. The
Yeah.
Street Fighter.
It looks so good though. That like actually looked like the Street Fighter the
Yeah, yeah, and
Wait,
then
you actually did the 2D graphics on top.
yeah, I did.
The anime. Oh man,
Yeah, that
that's
was fun.
crazy.
And then I think yeah, we had some cool stuff. And then like Alex had like, of course, like the cool 3D animation stuff. Like this.
Yeah.
But when it got to
And I remember
here,
doing this one, all the
yeah,
cycles for this.
yeah, this is yeah. And then yeah, again, I did the font, I mean the graphic stuff, and then this is cool. You did this one, I
Yeah, I
think.
remember
Yeah,
doing this one and putting the
yeah, and I
putting the
did
fire back to. Oh yeah, you did the
these the
result.
things. But yeah, these are cool. Like yeah, and then we yeah, we did a lot of like I guess me and you did most of like everything. We did almost like everything
Yeah,
else other than animating.
combining
Yeah.
yeah combining all the skills that we had.
Yeah, and that was amazing. That's when I really felt like like we figured that, oh, just between me and you, we could do the whole pipe pretty much,
Yeah, yeah.
at a decent level
Like we
too.
had all the
Yeah.
skills to
Yeah.
like the rigs and everything. I remember like
Mhm.
yeah, I
Yeah.
did the models and the rigging,
Yeah.
and then we decided to play blast everything because we didn't
Yeah.
have the resources.
Yeah.
We didn't have like the rendering capacity.
Yeah.
You were on a
Yeah.
laptop, and then
Oh my God, that
I
laptop was
was on a laptop.
shite.
We did all this stuff on
Yeah.
laptop. I was
Whoops.
doing this on a Mac,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. Like
on
how,
a MacBook.
yeah. And it was pretty insane. And oh, do I have to log in? Continue? Oh, okay. I'll show in my account. Give me a sec.
Yeah, but
I
I
yeah.
remember the all the late nights that we spent because we were doing all this after work. It wasn't just it wasn't
Yeah.
like we had a full-time thing where we spent on this. It
Well,
was literally like we finished work, we got home, would start working on this, and would
yeah.
work till like 12, and
Yeah.
then sometimes like 12, 1, and then we go to sleep, and then we
Yeah.
we just rinsed and repeat for like,
Yeah.
I remember it was like
Uh,
weeks at the beginning where it was just like,
nah, we did it for a long time. Like,
it was,
especially
yeah, it was
when
probably like a couple of months straight.
like it would be like, for example, you would be working like for a while. I think you went to work and then you came back and you worked more. And then I would work the whole day on this. Like even doing one Instagram post took the whole day because there's so much comping involved. Um,
Yeah.
and and I'll show you why. Like, I'll show you guys why. But like the, on top of that, there was so after my whole day of just working on one thing, I would go to your place and then work on more, and then till around
Yeah,
12,
too
and then
late, and then
walk
you'd go
home.
back home.
Yeah.
You'd carry the laptop back
Yeah,
home.
that was like
It was pretty
every
crazy.
day. Like
Yeah,
it was insane. Like
it was
how much
definitely
we
nonstop.
like, and that's what I'm like. To be honest, I thought that was really cool. How
Yeah,
much work we put into it. Of
yeah,
course, just because it's hard work or like hours put in doesn't mean it's great content. But
yeah,
um,
exactly. Oh, I
yeah,
remember the controller. I think I modeled that off
yeah, you did.
PS.
Yeah, yeah.
I was so
Uh,
proud. I was like, damn, I made a PS. I made a PS controller.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
that was cool.
we.
I like this one. Mine. Like, I was just getting used to using lattices, and I got really excited. Like, I just made it like a bathroom stall, and I just used lattice to make the shapes more graphic. But I don't know why. But this is wow. This is like this is cool. And we had like, for example, then we got into more comping and like collaborating with other people. Um, so that is when we started doing things like, for example, let's see the game stuff. Oh wait, this is one of the ones I did for but music because we're trying to get hits or like exposure. So like
Yeah, we're trying to make things that would trend, I think,
yeah,
at the
yeah.
time.
So there'd be like, comping this, and then, oh, this was like one of, I think this girl's like, she's a WoW player. And then, we try to collab with her, tell her to, take a photo or screenshot of her WoW experience. And then I comped us into the shot. And then it actually looks like, semi
It
decent.
looks pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Like
love
for
these
the time we spent, because
StarCraft
we were
ones.
pumping one out at like, it was like, was
Yeah.
it like one a day? I think it was.
One a day.
Yeah.
One a
So
day.
we were doing one of these a day, and
Yeah.
like I still had a full-time job, so it wasn't like,
Yeah. And like, it's like like even
we were
like
like super crude back then. Like
yeah,
I
we were
would say.
super super duper crude. But that's
Yeah.
when I was
Like
like,
it's definitely won't stand up to like this
yeah,
day and age is
yeah.
you know,
I mean, we were young and we were offensive.
social
Yeah,
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 social views of these days.
yeah,
Yeah, we were super offensive.
yeah. But this, I
But
think,
at the yeah,
like this comping, I was like, this was pretty accurate. I feel like even the lighting. Um, I was like pretty. I don't know. I was pretty like happy with, you know, like how much, like how we got to improve in our skills, like in different ways, and I think that was
yeah,
really fun.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff. Oh, I think I did like, okay, last one. Yeah, we got Big Hero 6 and we just comped ourselves in. That was fun.
That's so good.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for like in terms of shot chasers. But you know, this was
Yeah, and then I think so. How we, I think, how we moved on from this is
mhm,
like, we were get, we were getting burnt out because it was so full on. It was like,
mhm,
um, like doing this every single day, and then we weren't seeing any results at the same time.
mhm.
And then to this day, I feel like if we just kept going with that, we would have been probably like, who knows where, if things could have
Yeah.
blown up or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was just like the pace that we were keeping, and then our real lives were catching up to us as well. Like you had to get a job,
Yeah.
Alex had to get a job, and
Mhm.
I was still working full time, so I was getting burnt out. And and then we were like, okay, well, let's like, I think we kind of put it aside for a bit, and we didn't want to like discontinue doing that creative stuff because I think we all felt like it was very
Yeah.
rewarding. It was like, oh, like this is fun. Like
Mhm.
even because like all that work we put in wasn't going anywhere, it was still enjoyable.
Yeah. It was.
Um,
Yeah. Definitely was. Yeah.
yeah, like looking back, it was like it was a good time in our lives.
Yeah. It felt like we were working like we never thought we were working hard. We just thought that we need to get to like this is how this channel is going to grow.
Yeah,
So we just kept on putting more time. That because that's the only thing we can afford, time. Um,
yeah. We didn't have
um,
money,
yeah, we didn't have cash.
so
But yeah, I think then I had to like I also had to make sure that I have a career as like
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and
It was
so
still early on in our careers, so it wasn't
yeah,
like we were
yeah,
anywhere where we could say like, oh, we're proud of like what we did in the industry. Whereas
yeah,
like now I think it's different,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
Now we're like, we've done so much, like I've, you know over like 30 films now for me.
hmm,
And that's like, I don't
yeah,
know, that's like it was a dream when you first started in the industry. It's like, I want to work on all these movies. And
hmm,
then after a while, it's like I've worked on so many movies that like,
yeah,
what's one more movie?
yeah,
To me,
yeah,
that's how I feel right now. It's like
hmm,
I want to create something for myself,
yeah,
doing our own thing.
yeah,
But then, we kind of moved on from shot chases.
yeah,
So kind of going back to,
yeah,
don't want to lose sight of where we're going, but yeah, like going back to just
yeah.
finishing shot chases. Yeah, I think,
Because I
like
got
Alex.
yeah,
Yeah, I
like
think that's when Alex kind of he kind of stopped. He, I guess he just didn't want to
yeah, to like
keep
be
going with the hours.
yeah, because we were doing heavy hours still, and then just us two, and then I got a job at Animal Logic, and
Yeah,
that changed my life, of course. I was still able to work though, I remember, but at one point we were like, hey, like we need more either more people or like we need more like
yeah,
we can't like produce as much, or we still want to actually no we wanted to produce just as much, but we need more people, and we're like but
yeah,
we don't have any cash still, so we were
yeah,
like you know what, like we should put this on pause for a bit, and we want to do this for the long run because we always said we wanted to make our own content after this whole situation. Like after Shot Chasers, we're like, oh, that's the goal. That's the
yeah,
end goal. Produce something and be in charge of it, um,
yeah,
of this
yeah,
content. And we're like, well, in order to do that, we need money. So let's think of a way to earn a side income, like
yeah.
some passive income, um, especially
So
like during
something to fund the creative side.
yeah.
So
And what
that was the
yeah,
new focus, like the
exactly.
financial.
The
How do we
financial
make the
side.
money to sustain this?
Yeah. And I think after being in a new studio as well, because Luma was a relatively young studio in terms of the
In
artists that are
Melbourne?
there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, the studio at Animal is a lot more family sort of artists, like artists that already have a family. And I've seen them, and they were some struggle because they have like three kids and the partner doesn't work, and they basically have to hold up the entire family with their salary. And as
Yeah.
an animator, like we said before, you don't earn that much in at first. Like if you like,
Yeah.
you get
If you stick
conditioned in
through with it
Australia.
enough,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like the salary is just not as high until like you really see, like you really negotiate,
Yeah.
and yeah, then it opens up for you. But
It
and
can get like high, but it's just like
yeah,
at the beginning, you always want it to be quicker than it actually is,
yeah,
and you're always like, oh, I'm never getting paid enough.
yeah,
And at some point, you do get to the point where you're like, okay,
yeah,
like I think it's all right now. Like
hmm,
it's I could
yeah.
get paid more, sure, yeah, but now it's actually okay.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, at the time, like, we needed the cash. But so we started, let's see, we started our
Yeah, I
uh
think you came up with this idea. I remember because
mhm. I
like you were
saw it.
more business savvy, because you know you're always deeper into that business side of things.
Thanks for watching or listening to our content. If you like what you saw, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks again. Peace.